One of the most underrated first-person shooter games ever to release on the 7th generation has to be Bulletstorm. And recently I've gone back to play this game, and it's definitely one of the most enjoyable games that released on the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation. So today I'm going to talk about Bulletstorm, and if you could, just before I get into it, if you could drop a like and a subscribe if you want to see plenty more retro gaming videos. There's plenty more on this channel, released almost every single weekday. But yeah, getting into the most ridiculous first-person shooter game I can think of, Bulletstorm. So Bulletstorm is a 2011 first-person shooter. I've already said that. It was developed by People Can Fly and Epic Games and was published at the time by EA. The game takes place in the 26th century, so it's a futuristic shooter, and follows Grayson Hunt, which is a ridiculous name, who is a space pirate and a former Black Ops soldier and assassin, and like all round just quippy dickhead of a man. But he's actually quite charming when you get into the game. And at the time, I think the reason, like, it did get good reviews, this game, when it came out, but just a lot of people didn't play it, and I feel like at the time the video game market was just changing. Only a few years before this game was released, in 2007 and 2009, the Call of Duty games, or the Modern Warfare games, were hitting their prime. Both the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare games had come out in the respective years, but particularly first-person shooter games at the time were just changing into that more bullet sponge, health regain, 2 weapons only sort of style of gameplay, and there is a tiny bit of that in this game, but it's very few and far between. It feels more like it was added in because that was what was popular at the time, rather than what the actual gameplay should have been. Now, one of the things I absolutely love about this game is just the wild weaponry that you get and the abilities that you can get in this game. You get this awesome gravity whip, you can kick people miles, and it really harkens back to me to that sort of Duke Nukem Forever, Dune, Quake era of shooting, with a little bit of like modern first-person shooting game in it. And funny that I should say that, because there was actually quite a lot of cross-promotion with Duke Nukem for some reason in this game. There was a version released, which I'll talk about in a minute, that had Duke Nukem in the game, who you played as Duke Nukem. Now, when this game was released, it received a lot of controversy in America just because of the humour and of the sort of violence that is in the game, particularly, as I'm reading here, it was sort of like right-wing media groups that did not agree with this game, particularly Fox News. And I think that may have hindered people's memory of this game, because it's a fantastic game. I don't want to talk too much about the actual story, because you should really experience it yourself. And there's actually quite a few ways you can experience this game, because it was re-released on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One and Windows in 2017, sort of like an up-resed version, and in 2018 it was released on the Switch of all things, which was a Duke Nukem edition as well. Now, the game was supposed to get a sequel, but from what I've read in some of the research that I've done, the sequel never came to pass, just because a lot of the development team got moved on to other projects, such as the Gears of War franchise and also Fortnite. It is an Epic Games game. Like, it's weird to think that Epic Games used to actually make games. But this is definitely a game I would recommend to pretty much anyone that wants a decent retro style first person shooter with a lot of quips, a lot of violence, and a lot of cool weaponry. I won't go too much into the weaponry because I feel like you should be surprised by some of the stuff that happens in this game. But yeah, that's everything from me talking about Bulletstorm. I absolutely love this game. Let me know in the comments below if this is a game that you've played, or if it's a game that you've never played and you're interested in playing it. I really am curious why no one talks about this game anymore, because it's definitely had a re-release. It's got a small fan base, and I think more people should be a fan of this game. If you have enjoyed this video, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, because I will put out plenty more retro gaming videos more or less every weekday. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.